The defense of Oklahoma, one of the best in college football in every category. They'll have to be at their best today because, as John and Terry talked about, one of the most dangerous players in college football is on the scene. He's the Heisman Trophy leader at the midway point of the season, Seneca Wallace. And today, two old friends get set to do battle. Dan McCarney and Bob Stoops. The Cyclones and the Sooners are next. Loftiest national ranking ever. At the season's midway point, the Heisman Trophy's pointing towards Ames as well. Seneca Wallace has been nothing short of sensational, and the Cyclones have dumped all but one opponent so far. Today, the trail turns south toward Norman, where the nation's hardest-hitting defense lays in wait. Fresh from unhooking the horns in Dallas, Oklahoma has started to hit their stride, looking more and more like the champions they were just 2 years ago. Could another title come sooner than expected? The preseason experts picked Iowa State to finish fourth in the Northern Division. How wrong they have been so far. They come in perfect at 3-0. And today they're on the road. A tough place to play, as always, in Norman, Oklahoma, where the Sooners have run off 6 straight victories and are now the #2 team in the country. So that's a matchup today, everybody. The North against the South. We welcome you to Norman. It's cold, it's windy, it's wet. The Sooners are just coming out of the tunnel right now, and you can hear the crowd because they know that this team is starting possibly to hit its stride. 2-0 to lead the Big 12 South, and of course coming off the Red River Shootout, an impressive win, especially their second half performance against Texas last week. The Big 12 has been shaken up again today. Oklahoma State has beaten Nebraska. Is that a shock? Maybe not. They win by a field goal. Texas A&M is blanking Kansas. Colorado is another team that looks like they're starting to hit their stride. And Texas, Kansas State, and Missouri, Texas Tech are a little bit later on. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy along with you. This is an important game for both these teams. They have both won 6 straight ball games. Not surprising probably for Oklahoma, very much so for the Iowa State Cyclones. They're that close to being 7-0, actually more like a yard from being 7-0. They lost to Florida State in the Eddie Robinson Classic. Bob, they're 6-1 and almost 7-0 because they have good football players and good coaching, but they have one special football player.
Seneca Wallace, in my opinion, the top playmaker in all of college football. This is a play from last week. They call it the run. Seneca is a quarterback. He prefers to stay in the pocket. He doesn't like to scramble. In fact, he has only 30 yards rushing on average per game this year. And in my opinion, for him to win this ball game today, he's got to get out of the pocket, use his legs, scramble, and not run. Not only does he have to be the leading passer for Iowa State, he has to be their leading rusher.
All right, well, the leading rusher for Oklahoma is Quentin Griffin. He's coming off a career-high game against the Longhorns down in Dallas. But still, you know they're going to load up against him and force Nate Hibble to try to win the ball game. On the other side of things, if you got to stop Seneca Wallace, this is a pretty good group to try to do it on defense.
Well, this defense, you know, they won a championship 2 years ago with outstanding defense. This defense is almost as good. They've got All-Americans at several different positions. The strength of this defense is their front 7, and Teddy Lehman, a sprinter in high school, is the strength of that defense. This defense has speed, and they'll need that speed today to stop Seneca Wallace.
I hope Swanee can hear me. He's the third man in our team. Let's head to the field to Lynn Swan.
Thank you. It is loud. I'm here with head coach Dan McCarney. Best start since 1938. What was the message you delivered to this ball club before they took the field?
Now, I want these kids to embrace this opportunity, and just play with a relentless dedication to one another and enjoy the moment. This is a great opportunity for our football team.
You're facing one of the top defenses in the country. Seneca Wallace is a great leader. Will he have to do more today to give you a chance to win?
Well, we want him to play within the system, but do his thing. We're going to have to give him an opportunity with our protection and hopefully get a little bit of running game going as hard as it is against this defense.
Coach, good luck to you.
Thanks a lot, Lynn.
They're looking forward to it, Brad.
Maybe there are no 2 other coaches in college football whose teams reflect their head coach's intensity more than Dan McCarney and Bob Stoops. Oklahoma won the toss. They've deferred. The kick is coming. Trey DiCarlo and Young and Wagner wait on it at the 2-yard line. It's Michael Wagner. And the tailback's got himself a seam, and he's out to about the 28-yard line. That's where Iowa State will go to work offensively. Here's the guy that everybody is talking about, and I'm talking about everybody from MTV to every magazine in the country, and he's Seneca Wallace, the 5'10", 193-pound senior. And he's a guy that makes big plays. As Bob said, it's not so much that every game he rushes or throws for so many yards. He finds a way to come up with big plays when they need them.
At critical times, that's right.
So they'll work from the 28-yard line. 3 wide out grouping for Wallace, and immediately he'll drop back in the shotgun. Wagner and Rutland will flank him there. Noise already deafening here at Oklahoma. No gain on the play for Michael Wagner. Might have lost a foot or two. Let's check the starting lineups. First, here's the big eaters up front for Iowa State. Shelton and Menard, Butler at the center spot with the most experience, Montgomery and Stubby. The backs and receivers, Wagner, Woodley the fullback, although we've already seen both tailbacks in together. Knox the tight end, Danielson and Whitver the wide receivers. Lane Danielson is a big play receiver, and he's the guy they look to stretch the field. Wallace, plenty of time. Now throws short and incomplete. Intended for Wagner, and he sort of double pumped. And then when he did recoil to try to throw, it was in the dirt. Defensively for Oklahoma, this is a tremendous front wall. Wilkerson and Harris, Klein and Jackson.
One of the best in the country.
And as Bob said, Lehman and Mitchell and Jackson will get around. Speedy linebackers and big hitters. And Woolfolk, Everidge, Bassey and Derek Strait.
Great corners. 2 guys on the outside are very good.
And this guy we talked to yesterday, he can run anybody down. And just a true sophomore, a defensive tackle. 3rd down and 10. This is when Wallace usually shines. Blitz is on. Incomplete. Intended for Lane Danielson. And Wallace took a hit. And it was Everidge coming on the blitz. So it's 3 and out Iowa State.
Well, that's not all bad. You're on the road. It's a hyped-up crowd. Offensively, at least you didn't turn it over. Punting in this situation is not a bad thing.
Tony Elk punting to that guy can be a bad situation.
Well, that's true.
Antonio Perkins, who I think is one of the most exciting guys you can watch in all of college football, when he gets his hands on it with a little bit of a gap here or there.
He's already returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year.
Here comes Derek Strait, and he blocked it into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Straight to the punter, and Sims covers it.
The Iowa State player had a chance to kick it out of the end zone. He tried to kick it out of the end zone, and he missed the ball. Here's the block. Now number 17, it's not in the picture there, but he tried to kick it out of the end zone. He missed it.
Put it this way, he hit it once and got it stuffed and then fanned the second time. And just like that, the special teams of Oklahoma puts the second-ranked Sooners in front. Derek Strait, Bob Stoops says he's been our most consistent player for 3 years. He just helped them score a touchdown. Unit, after his offense was forced into a 3-and-out situation, lets Derek Strait slide right in there, block the punt. It's a touchdown.
Plain and simple, that is just good coaching. That is something that the Oklahoma coaches saw in preparation for this ball game. First punt, they come out and get it blocked.
And now the kickoff. Wait a minute. They whistled this one dead, apparently. I don't know if DeCarlo was trying to squib that or if he slipped. The ball apparently came off the tee while he was swinging his foot through, so we're going to try that again.
Never happened to you on a golf course?
Now, you know it has. Why'd you have to make me embarrassed like that? While we wait for the re-kick, let's go back to the touchdown.
Here's Strait right here. He's just going to come free. Now, they were just overloaded that side. They just overloaded the left side of it. Now watch Forrest, number 17. He's going to whiff it right there. He tried to kick the ball out of the end zone. And if you're going to do that, just fall on it or get down and knock it out of bounds.
Well, it might have been the spin that had him confused.
I don't know if he was a kicker in high school or what, but
not a very good one if he was.
Just jump on the ball. You'll give away 2 points, not 7, and you punt the ball away.
We talked about the weather before the game. The wind has died somewhat, but it is windy and cold, and the special teams of Oklahoma in Bob Stoops' era have been impressive, including another touchdown moments ago. And this one goes to Lance Young, and he'll take a knee 5 yards deep. So again, Iowa State will have to work from its own 20-yard line. So now already the pressure has built a little bit on the Cyclones. They found themselves in this situation before, down behind to a good team, but you don't want to do it week in and week out, especially with the schedule they have upcoming. They have really got to be one of those teams that worries about week in and week out. And we'll show you their schedule later.